Welcome back to the Snod Pod with John Snodgrass, your mortgage resource, where we're talking real estate, mortgages, and beyond. I'm here with Courtney Stefaniak of the Stefaniak Realty Group, back again for part 2. We're going to talk a lot of investment properties here, but Courtney, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, of course.
Let's just jump right into it here. We met a while back, and you had told me about some investment properties you owned, and I'd love to just hear your journey into that. And
sure.
Take it over.
We call it house hacking, right? So if you are wanting to get your start into investment real estate and maybe you don't have the 25% down payment to purchase it as an investor, you can purchase the property. I bought my first duplex in 2012 with, I think, as little as 5% down, and I lived in it. So I lived in
owner-occupied.
Yep, owner-occupied. So I lived in one unit, fixed that up for a couple of years, and then I was obviously getting the rental income from the other unit until it was time for me to move into that unit, fix that one up, and then go to the next one.
Okay.
So kind of like a whole cycle, I guess, of a process where you could just keep doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that just seems like the smart way
right?
to do it, kind of ease yourself in there.
Ease yourself into it. You're living there, collecting the rental income and the benefits.
And your renter is right above you.
And your renter is right above you. And you're there, and it's like, to learn how to be a landlord, I think, like, it's your property, you're living there, you're probably going to take better care of it that way. So that's how I got started, and then met my now husband. We did the whole single family thing for a couple of years until we bought our second duplex, and then we went and moved in there and fixed that up. Did that for a couple years, and then we purchased our current home, hopefully our forever home, in 2021.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my house hacking journey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So are you doing a lot of the work yourself when you're fixing it up, or what is it that you're doing yourself, and then what is it where you're hiring a specialist?
We did a lot of like the demo and carpet removal, painting, and stuff like that ourselves.
Okay.
But like plumbing and electrical and stuff like that I don't want to mess with or screw it up, I would hire that out.
Yeah. I talked a little bit in my episode with my friend who's director of operations at Mr. Holland's Heating and Electric and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a master plumber. I was about to put in a toilet, and he was like, John, don't do that.
We've done toilets. I've swapped out a couple toilets before.
Oh, yeah.
It was just kind of like, watch the YouTube video. Okay, turn the water off. I think I can do that. So we've done that a couple of times, but like anything really beyond that was like, let the pros handle it kind of thing.
But yeah, I'm sure you save a good chunk by doing the demo.
Mm-hmm.
Ripping that carpet out so you're just taking it to the dump.
It's a good learning process, and you got some sweat equity in there, and
if you have a rough week at work,
just take a hammer. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that's how I got started, and pretty much I think everyone in my entire family has kind of done the same thing. My brother has 2 investment properties as well, and my parents have a bunch. They have 4 families and 8 families in some larger apartment buildings where they rent to 55 and older. Okay. So more of like the senior living apartments.
Got it.
So it's worked out well for us, and we manage them ourselves, which might not be for everyone.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, knock on wood. It's been so far more better experiences than any negative.
Okay. So mostly positive. You brought up negative. Because you've been doing the investing for how long?
Since 2012.
Okay.
So what, 11 years? Yeah.
So, okay. Any bad experiences, or maybe bad's not the right word?
We had one this summer where the tenants, I guess, decided they wanted to move out early, and we said, okay. So they left.
So they just like picked up and left?
Yeah, but they didn't pick anything up. So
They just left
it was a disaster. I have not seen anything like that in my 11 years. And it was one of the units that my husband and I lived in too. So we were kind of like, oh man, that really stinks. But just
So they just ruined it? Did they ruin it or just left?
nothing was ruined, but it was just very, very dirty, old expired food in the fridge, just stuff everywhere. I think I took 15, maybe 20 of those big heavy duty black garbage bags, filled them and dragged it out of there.
Oh my god.
So other than that though, like the positives have far outweighed the negative experiences.
Wow. So going back to that though, so what do you do? Do you just say, you know what, I'm just going to take a loss, or do you try to go after them to say, hey, you owe me money?
No, it wasn't that situation. It was more of like, we have a security deposit for a reason.
Okay.
And we said, let's just take care of this and move on and be done and wipe our hands clean and move on to the next, hopefully, better experience.
Well, I'll just jump into, so I reluctantly became a landlord. So I bought in 2006.
Okay.
November, literally, I feel like I bought November 15th and November 16th. The housing market crashed.
Just crashed.
And so I bought at the peak of the market, and then, long story short, moved out to Los Angeles for a little bit. My wife was living out there. And so I had to rent. So I'm thinking, I'm going to rent my 3-bedroom condo, downtown, to some, younger girls. I think they were just out of college. I'm like, I want to try not to rent to guys, just thinking about me in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Not very clean. But anyways, so first couple of years went okay, but then next thing you know, bounce checks, boyfriend punches a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
One girl's not getting along with the other. Cat comes in, pees everywhere. Anyways, I decided I was done after a while.
Yeah. And it's definitely not for everyone. But like I said, we've definitely had far more positive experiences with the tenants that we have and, with the properties and things like that. So hopefully it continues down that path.
Yeah, that's awesome. So kind of just stay on maybe this investment theme.
Okay.
But we'll kind of go to, buyers you're working with. Do you have a chunk of buyers that you're working with that are they're just investors?
I used to.
Okay.
I feel like years ago when we had a stronger foreclosure and short sale market, and flipping houses was becoming the thing to do. I used to work with a bunch of investors, and really they would just look for, up and coming or trendy locations in terms of neighborhoods close to amenities, freeway access, all that stuff. But I don't do it too much anymore. Well, I kind of just partially because that foreclosure and short sale market is long gone.
Right.
So we're not seeing that as much anymore. But I used to, and I feel like that's kind of what they would be looking for too, other than a good deal.
Okay. So the areas they'd be looking at, I'm assuming a Bayview.
We got a lot of Bayview. I think we got a lot of Wauwatosa. Just the different pocket neighborhoods of Milwaukee, I feel too, that kind of surrounded. I used to live in Blue Mountain Heights, so I feel like Blue Mountain Heights and Enders Park, Cooper Park, those Milwaukee, yeah.
Did you ever venture into Airbnb with the properties you've owned?
I've thought about it, but I have not crossed that path, and I don't think I'm going to.
Okay.
Everything I've been kind of reading has been maybe that market is on the downturn a little bit, and just I've heard horror stories of people's Airbnbs not existing, or they don't look like the photos, or they have crazy cleaning fees.
Okay.
So I've just been, reading more and more and hearing stories about that where I'm just I'm good. It might be making less money, but it's not broke. So I'm
it sounds like
trying to fix it.
Yeah. Your strategy has worked. The house hacking.
So I'm going to stick with what I know.
Stick with what you know.
Yeah.
I guess any advice, to kind of close for somebody that, may be
I think,
wanting to get into the investment property?
yeah, I think if you're looking to get into real estate and you want to build a portfolio, the house hacking is an awesome way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, because like we said, you can get in with 3 to 5% down, live in there, get it to where it's you want it to be, collect the rental income, and then go on to the next one.
I feel like that's like the right way to go about it because, everybody's trying to make a quick buck, whether it's in real estate or stocks.
Or whatever.
I can get quick. It's like kind of like the old Warren Buffett, line of thinking, hey, slow.
And that's,
Stay the course.
we're slow. We took our time. We lived where we wanted to live for however long and moved on to the next one.
And now you got 4 rental units.
Yeah, so it's worked out well.
Other than the people that just picked up and left.
Other than the people that didn't pick anything up.
Or didn't pick up anything.
Other than that, it's good.
Well, hey, this has been great. Thanks for, sharing your expertise.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. It's been fun to learn about investment properties. I gave up on it pretty early. But who knows? Maybe I'll get back into it. But thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, this has been the Snod Pod with John Snodgrass, where we're talking real estate, mortgages, and beyond. Thanks again to Courtney Stefaniak, who's come in to be with us. We'll see you next time.